Hey, what is going on, movie lovers? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies. I am Jacob Bartley, and this is our review for Power Rangers. This is our non-spoilers review. Now, for those of you who have been following our channel for any time, you might have known that I have been so excited for this movie. It is one of my childhood treasures, the original TV show. One of my first childhood memories is going to watch the original 1995 movie in theaters with my mom. It's just a big part of my childhood, and into adulthood, I've learned to appreciate it for what it was. I know the show is cheesy, but you know, it has some, it's so nostalgic for me that like I've really grown to love it as much as I love other things like Star Wars and X-Men and Spider-Man and stuff like that. Maybe not as much as Star Wars, but I still love Power Rangers a great deal, and I always thought they could make a really cool live action, like serious take version of the Power Rangers, and they did that. And I was really worried about this film because if this movie didn't succeed in being a good movie and financially, they're never going to make another Power Rangers movie again. So there's a lot of stakes riding on this movie for me. But overall, I just didn't want it to be bad. And I gotta say, it is not a bad movie. It's a good movie. I'm so relieved that this movie is good, in my opinion. I don't want to say it's great. I'm not a blind fanboy. I'm not going to say it's the best movie of the year. That probably belongs to this film right here. But I am completely satisfied with this Power Rangers movie. Let me start with some of my positives. The one thing I wanted them to do with this film is to take it seriously and treat these characters with respect, like they're real people, and develop the characters. And that is honestly the highlight of the movie. They spent a lot of time and took a lot of time to let you get to know these characters, let them get to know each other, let them bond as a team. And a lot of team-up movies in general, not just superhero, but team-up movies, the team comes together and automatically they have chemistry, automatically they work together. They, you know, take time with these characters and treat it realistically, in my opinion. And it's not just action everywhere just to, you know, please the fans. They took a lot of time and treated these characters with respect, where I could see some people saying it being boring or something like that, but for me, it made me so happy because that's the one thing that I really wanted from this movie. Now, speaking of the characters, the cast, I think the 5 Rangers, all 5 of them were great in my opinion. I thought they had great chemistry together, and I thought individually they were pretty strong in their performances. So, and it's because we didn't really see them talk a lot in the trailers. We didn't see them interact a lot in the trailers. So that was a big question mark going in, and I thought that worked very, very well. Just the way they handled the whole mythology of the Power Rangers, knowing a lot about it myself, I loved what they did with it, the elements that they kept and expanded on, and things that they dropped too. I think they handled that all very, very well. The action, when there was action, I enjoyed it a lot. And I'll get into that in some of my negatives, more on the action. But the action I did enjoy a lot. I thought the suits looked great. The Zords looked pretty good. It was funny. The audience was laughing a lot throughout the movie, and it's not cheesy funny. It's not like, you know, the old Power Rangers type of humor. No, not at all. It's you know, modern humor. It's subtle humor. It's humor built into the characters and you know, their development. So I thought the humor was handled really well. And for the most part, I like the way they handled Rita. As you know, if you know the TV show at all, she's the most cheesy villain ever in the TV show. But they took a little bit of that cheese and kept it, and then they added new things, and they made her scary, which I thought worked really well. But I didn't love everything about her, and I will get into that. But overall, I think the highlight of this movie is the 5 Rangers, the actors portraying these characters, and their chemistry together overall was really, really awesome for me, especially for a long-time fan. Alpha 5, I was questionable about Alpha 5 going into this movie, and I gotta say, they added some cool things to his character, and I really enjoyed Alpha 5 and look forward to hopefully seeing him in the future if they make another movie. So some of my negatives, at first I didn't love Rita. I love about half of the things they did with her and half of the things I didn't love. But it's a far improvement from the TV show Rita. because you had to drop all the cheesiness about her, and they stuck to, you know, the core of the character, which is like over the top villainous. But there were just a few times where I was like, maybe that was a little too much. But by the end of the movie, I was satisfied with her character. Now, if you've watched the trailers, you've seen Goldar, and if you don't know who Goldar is, he's kind of Rita's right-hand warrior in the TV show, and they adapted that. They changed Goldar completely for this movie. I'm not sure if I loved it. Like, he looked cool, and when he was fighting the Rangers, it looked cool, but for me, knowing that Goldar character for so long, I kind of wish that he could talk and interact with Rita. So that's kind of something that I was hoping for, but the action looked cool with that Goldar. I like that it was real gold and like melting gold. So half and half on Goldar. Zordon, I should have mentioned Zordon in my positives. I did like Bryan Cranston as Zordon. I loved his voice. If you've seen the trailers, you see his face like comes out of the ship. It's like, you know, sticking out of the ship. I wish they would have handled the way Zordon looks when he's a big face. I wish they would have handled that a little bit better. But as far as Zordon's character and the voice and Bryan Cranston's portrayal of him, he was good. But I just wish they would have found another device to display Zordon for the Rangers, because if they do continue this franchise, he's stuck in that ship forever. Like, unless I'm mistaken, but it's just, we're gonna have to see him like that forever. I kind of missed the tube thing or whatever he was in, but you know, maybe they'll find a way to improve that, or maybe it'll just stay the same, and that's totally fine as well. There's a lack of action in the film, which I don't personally find a negative, but I could see other people finding flaws in that, where like, oh come on, like Power Rangers is about the fighting and the action, and yes it is, but it's also about these characters and their relationships. But I'll say when the action does come around, it's really good, but I wish there was more of it, honestly. And don't worry, if they make a second movie, it'll open up with an action scene with them in the suits, no doubt about that. And then the end fight, and I won't get into spoiler territory, but the end fight was really good, except for a few things, and I wish the few things would have been handled better. But overall, those are my negatives. Ultimately, I am satisfied. That is the main point here. It's not a great cinema piece. But it's nowhere near bad or even mediocre to me. It's really good in my opinion, especially it's a young adult, you know, coming of age story at its heart, really, and that's where it succeeds the most, and that's why I'm so happy about this movie. And go see it, please, because I need the box office to be somewhat successful in order for them to make a sequel. But in real talk, if you're a Power Rangers fan, I think you're going to love it. If you have kids and you got a family, I think it's a great family movie to go see. If you think the Power Rangers are dumb, then you're going to think they're dumb and you're not going to like this movie, so don't go see it. But like I said, if you want a fun, young, coming of age story for your kids to go see it. If you're a Power Rangers fan, definitely go see it. So with all that being said, I am going to settle at an 8 out of 10 for Power Rangers, and that is more than I ever could have asked for. All I wanted was it not to be bad, and it ended up being really good in my opinion. Alright, well that's going to do it for my review of Power Rangers. Look for our spoilers review coming out probably in a couple days or so. I'm going to do that with Jake Berlin. You can find me, Jacob Bartley, on this Apocalypse Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of Power Rangers, or if you're looking forward to it, or if you have any questions regarding my review. Again, thank you all for listening. Until next time, take care.